Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Walt here from Down the Block Sports, and today I'm breaking down the Eastern region of the 2021 NCAA Tournament. This region is highlighted by first seed Michigan, second seed Alabama, surprisingly third seed Texas, and also, you can't forget, the St. Bonaventure men's basketball teams. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break down every single team 1 through 16, the matchups to expect in the first round in the Eastern region of the 2020 NCAA Tournament. I mentioned that this region is highlighted by Michigan, the top seed. They're going to play the winner of the 16 play-in game between Mount St. Mary's and Texas Southern. It's pretty safe to assume that Michigan's going to win that game. Feel free to have them advance in your bracket, but I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of what to expect from the Michigan Wolverines. They're a team that is one of the best teams in college basketball, but is entering the tournament not playing great. This is a team that's lost 3 of their last 5 games. So you'd like to see trends going towards the tournament. Michigan, a top seed, is definitely trending in the wrong direction. They lost to Illinois, Michigan State, and Ohio State in their last 5 games, but they're still not a team you want to sleep on in the NCAA tournament. They're obviously highlighted by Hunter Dickinson, Isaiah Livers, and Franz Wagner. This is a team that may not be playing well, but still has the chance to do some real damage here in the Eastern region. So again, we still have to wait to see who their opponent's going to be. I'm not even going to waste your time. Feel free to advance Michigan in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Now, who Michigan plays is going to be one of the best games of this entire region. Highlighted right there, my St. Bonaventure Bonnies take on the LSU Tigers. Now, I'm not saying this because I'm a graduate of the great St. Bonaventure University. I am shocked that LSU is an 8 because this is a team that recently beat Arkansas and lost by 1 possession to Alabama, who's the 2 seed in this region. This is a team that's playing pretty good basketball at a great time. Now, on the flip side, St. Bonaventure is playing unbelievable, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. Oshun Oshuni has been a force in the paint. He's also was just named Atlantic 10 Defensive Player of the Year. So the Bonnies are playing the best team defense of the season at an absolutely amazing time. Now, looking at the LSU Tigers are led by guard Cameron Thomas, who averaged over 22 points per game. Trendon Watford, Javante Smart. They're going to be a lot to handle for St. Bonaventure. Now, when you look at both of these teams, they're not the deepest. So if there is foul trouble, I think that's going to give a huge advantage to either team. But the way the Bonnies are playing right now, they can cause some serious upsets. Now, I think LSU is an absolutely tough 8. I think this is a brutal matchup for St. Bonaventure. But I do think the Bonnies get the win here. If they play defense like they did against St. Louis and VCU, they have the chance to win a lot of games in this tournament. Now, do I think they beat a team like Michigan in the next round? We'll see how they play out, make some videos again down the road. But sticking with the first round matchup right here, I think the Bonnies are playing their best basketball of the season. So is LSU. We'll see who wins that matchup between Will Wade and Mark Schmidt. Those are 2 coaches that are also very familiar with each other when Wade was recently a coach for Virginia Commonwealth. So in this matchup, I'm going to go with St. Bonaventure. Their defense is unbelievable. If you don't know his name, Oshun Oshuni, check him out. He's one of the better centers in college basketball. Lowering ourselves here in the Eastern region, we have 5th seed Colorado against 12th ranked Georgetown. Now, Colorado's won 6 of their last 7 games. Their only loss was to Oregon State in the Pac-12 semifinal. They're led by guard McKinley Wright, who averaged over 15 points per game. Also, Jariah Horn, Evan Badley. But when you look at the team they're playing right now, Georgetown is playing the best basketball they've played all season. Now, they're a team that's a very sneaky 12 because when you look at Georgetown right now, they've won 8 of their last 10 games, destroyed Creighton 73-48 in the Big East final. Georgetown's coming into this tournament hot. So Colorado's a very good team. The Big East is also obviously a brutal conference. Georgetown was able to get out of that. I think this is a horrible matchup for Colorado. I'm picking the upset. I think Georgetown comes into this matchup, wins this game, and continues their momentum they had from the Big East championship game. Now, looking at the next matchup, who they could possibly play in the second round, Florida State's going to be playing UNC Greensboro. Now, Florida State's been one of the most consistent teams in the ACC the last few years, but they're 3-3 in their last 6 games. They lost to Georgia Tech in the ACC final. Looking at Florida State, MJ Walker, Raquan Gray, Scotty Barnes, they got a productive team. They got guys who can put the ball in the basket. So they're going to be a lot to handle, even though they're not playing well right now. But UNC Greensboro has won 8 of their last 10 games. Isaiah Miller is really the star for that team. So I think UNC Greensboro is going to give them a game. If this was a situation where we were going from Selection Sunday immediately into the tournament without like 6 days off, I'd pick the upset, but I think having the time off is going to affect UNC Greensboro. I think Florida State's a better coach. I think Florida State's a better team. Even though they're not playing great right now, they still made it to the ACC final game. Of course, there was some plays here at the end, a steal, which led to Georgia Tech winning that game. So I'm going to go Florida State. I think it'll be a good game, but I don't think UNC Greensboro gets the win in this matchup against Florida State. Moving on, we have our play-in game between the 11s between Michigan State and UCLA. The winner is going to play BYU. Michigan State's 5-3 in their last 8 games, 2-3 in their last 5. So it's been a little bit rocky as they've gotten closer to the NCAA tournament. UCLA is on a 4-game losing streak. So they couldn't be playing worse basketball than ever right now. Now, obviously, Michigan State's led by Tom Izzo, who's won a national championship. Coaching matters a lot. So obviously the trends do favor Michigan State, Aaron Henry, Josh Hauser. They got a pretty solid team. Obviously, they don't have the Cassius Winston like they had last year. Xavier Tillman, they're not nearly as talented, but I'm going to go with Michigan State. I think the experience from the coaching position is going to matter here, and I think Michigan State gets that matchup against BYU. Now, BYU is a very good team. I think Michigan State's going to have a really tough time because they've won 5 of their last 6. Their only loss was against Gonzaga, shocker, in the West Coast Championship. Gonzaga ended up winning that league, as they do almost every single year. Alex Barcelos, an extremely productive guard. Brandon Arnett, Matt Harms is a monster in the middle. He's one of the bigger centers in college basketball. So I do think Michigan State advances. They do beat UCLA, but BYU is an extremely good team. They're a team that can knock down threes. They're a team that's really difficult to deal with in the paint. Harms is over 7'2". So I like BYU to advance in this matchup. Good for Michigan State for making it this far. I think Tom Izzo is one of the best coaches in college basketball. But after they play a play-in game against UCLA, I do not think they advance any farther past BYU. Now, Texas is the next team. I'm shocked they got a 3 seed because they're the team that won the Big 12. They're one of the best teams in college basketball. Obviously, Baylor is a 1 seed. They deserve to be a 1 seed. They're one of the best teams in the league. But I'm shocked Texas didn't move up to at least a 2 after winning their conference. But either way, they have a 3. They're going to play Abilene Christian. Texas is on a 6-game winning streak. They defeat Oklahoma State, who's playing some of their best basketball of the season in the Big 12 title game. Andrew Jones, an amazing story. If you haven't had the chance to research that, feel free to check that out. Andrew Jones, the guard for Texas. He has over 14 points per game. Matt Coleman, Courtney Ramey, they got guys who can score. This is not a team you want to face. Now, Abilene Christian has won 12 of their last 13 games. They are the Southland champions. I do give them a lot of credit. But again, I just don't think they can keep up with the guard play for Texas. Their best guard's Corey Mason. They're led by Colton Cole, who's a center. So I do think Abilene Christian is a solid team. Good for them for making it to the tournament. But guards win, good coaches win, experienced coaches win. I like Shaka Smart. I like the way Texas is playing, and they got 3 guards who can play, even though Ramey isn't playing his best basketball of the season right now. So I'm going to go all in with Texas. I think Texas has a real chance to win this region. We'll see how Texas plays in some future videos, but I'm rolling with Texas here. I think they're going to defeat Abilene Christian in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Looking at the final 2 games here in the Eastern region, we have 7-seed UConn versus 10-seed Maryland. This is going to be a great game, even though Maryland is not playing great basketball. UConn, on the other hand, has won 7 of the last 9. Maryland's lost 3 of their last 4. So UConn's loss came against Creighton in the Big East semifinal before Creighton got demolished by Georgetown in the Big East final. James Bouknight, one of the better guards in college basketball. R.J. Cole, Tyrese Martin. The thing with UConn is they got guards. They got guys who can score. This is not a team you're going to want to play. Now, Maryland is a good team. Again, they've lost 3 of their last 4. I don't think they're a team that's too scary. I think they're a pretty soft 10 seed in my opinion, especially right now. So I'm going to ride with the hot team right now. I think UConn just has the guards. I think UConn is just an overall better team playing better basketball right now. Hard not to pick the Huskies here in this 7-10 matchup. Now, I think this winner of this game is going to be pretty obvious. Number 2, Alabama versus 15th seed Iona. The main reason I want to talk about this is because I think Iona, Rick Pitino's back in the tournament. Crazy. He's able to lead Iona, so good for him. Bama's won 9 of their last 10 games, including a win in the SEC championship. Iona's won 6 straight games, so they're playing decent basketball, but this Alabama team is absolutely nasty. Nate Oates has got himself a squad. It's crazy to think that we're seeing Alabama and LSU play in the championship game in basketball. Normally those are 2 of the powerhouses in the game of football, but both teams are playing well right now. Jaden Shackelford, Javon Quinterly, John Petty Jr. They got 3 guys who can score. I like Alabama a lot, and good for Rick Pitino, but you're not getting past this first round matchup against the Alabama Crimson Tide. That's going to be my look at the Eastern region in the first round of the NCAA tournament. What are your thoughts here on the first round? Feel free to comment that below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Down the Block Sports, and see more of my breakdowns of the first round of the NCAA tournament. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you very soon.